So I have been feeling like this is something that I wanted to share from my own personal experience that isn't in my film and isn't really talked about in any of my other YouTube videos or content. And that is the idea that when I was in the throes of the worst parts of my medication tapering journey, the darkest days and the worst symptoms, I would think to myself, if I had known about this, what my experience was going to be like, I never would have taken these medications. And that was the story that I told myself for a number of years until I didn't. And that change came when I sat down with myself and was fiercely and radically honest with myself about the truth of it all versus the story. And the truth is that it took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree because I had to pay my own way through college while I also worked full time. So that's just something I wanted to do. And I was very tenacious about that goal and something that I really wanted for myself. And at the time that I started taking the medication, I was cemented, newly cemented in arriving in my career. The my idea of the pinnacle of everything that I had been working for. I was 5 years into my second marriage, had a mortgage and car payments and student loans. And when I was really honest with myself, the answer was yes. Yes, I would have. If I'm honest with myself, yes, I would have taken the medication. In addition to fearing losing the above that I mentioned, I have some notes here. In addition to losing my perception of losing everything that I had worked for, I was also operating within a belief system at the time. And I didn't bother to question that belief system. I handed over my life to someone whom I thought knew better than me, partly in my distress and partly due to not listening to my own intuition. I take that back. I listened to my intuition, but I did not have the courage to act on my intuition. And that's okay because that's just where I was at the time. I I just wanted relief. And yeah, the medication gave me relief. I got what I wanted. I got what I was seeking. And honestly, given the place that I was at the time, if someone had offered another solution to me, I'm not even sure that I would have been open to another solution. Certainly not the solution that I became open to later on in my tapering process. No way. No way.
And, part of the beliefs, there's a lot of beliefs that went into it, but into taking the medication. But one of the beliefs was if something isn't right, you go to the doctor. And if the doctor gives you medication, you take the medication. That's what you're there for. So, all of this to say, those are some of the main reasons that when I look back and I am really honest with myself, given everything that I went through, the answer is yes. Yes, I would have taken the medication again. And that might be different for different people. But like I said, when I was radically honest with myself and performed a legitimate self examination, the answer was yes. I was telling myself a story and I was angry and I was in blame mode and I was in victim mode. But in reality, if I'm honest and truthful with myself, yes, I would have taken the medication. Um, so I don't know if that's going to make somebody angry or if it's going to inspire others. I don't know, but I just felt inspired to come on here and say that, to be honest and tell the truth. Um, I am in a place before I got to where I am now. Those were the realizations that I had. And those realizations, after I was honest with myself, evolved into a knowing beyond a believing, a knowing that I did the best I could with where I was at the time. And I also know that my prescriber and prescribers did the best that they knew to do at the time with where they are at. And I truly, expanding beyond that, know that everyone is doing the best that they can with where they are at that time. And everybody's best looks different. And everybody's best is different from day to day. And if you're like me, everybody's best can change from hour to hour because life happens and it's uncertain. So I know that I did the best and everyone involved did the best that they could with where they were at. But I had to be honest with myself and stop telling myself that story, given the pain and distress and anger that I was in at the time. I had to go beyond that and get really real with myself. And those were the conclusions that I came to. Thanks for listening.